So it seems like we have a little bit of an update on the Sinder situation, and this time it's more to do with the fans. Now, if you guys remember, obviously we went through a couple of posts in my previous videos talking about some of the merch and collaborations that Sinder was doing with certain companies, and the fact that some of them were allowing people to actually cancel their orders now after all of the recent drama, and also some of them were continuing work or not continuing work with her, which was interesting to see. And obviously I talked about my full thoughts and opinions over on those videos if you guys want to go see them. But essentially I came across something kind of interesting, and it's kind of interesting from a lot of the current Sinder fans, the ones that are still stuck through a little bit of this, or kind of just enjoy the notion that, obviously there was this whole kind of stuff going on a couple of years ago where, it was all good, and they want to hold on to those kind of memories that they've had whenever everything was good. And essentially what they've been doing is actually going ahead and buying a lot of merch just on the cheap. Because if you have seen in my previous videos, people are saying like stuff like, don't burn your Sinder merch, donate it, donate it to homeless shelters and stuff like that. And obviously some people are donating it, some people are straight up burning it, which obviously I covered in the video as well. But also there's people just like reselling it, there's people going on eBay now and all of the kind of other secondhand sites, essentially just like giving away this merch on the cheap because they want to get rid of it for a little bit of money, but they want to get rid of it as quickly as possible, which obviously means people like this are now going in ahead and actually, sweeping up some of the merch for even cheaper over on eBay, which is kind of crazy, and I think that's, something that I've noticed in the community, at least in the past couple of days, is that a lot of these Sinder fans are going ahead and just getting stuff on the cheap, which I think is actually kind of a smart way to do it if you don't actually care too much about this situation, because obviously, there is a difference between, the fact that Sinder has her own like model and design, and then also Sinder herself, which again, some people can also separate. But, obviously this person says, well, Sinder's created so much grief and negativity. The merch is all, quality products, and you can help people who have never even heard of VTubers and make their day. I've seen multiple people suggest this, and I wanted to amplify that sentiment. I just want to add the main sentiment is not to destroy or throw things away unnecessarily or to make a point. eBay or Facebook Marketplace is your best friend if it's not a good fit for donation and or you need some money back, which is completely understandable in this economy. They say food banks don't take gamer subs though. You get the point. Besides, food banks here do take/give out energy drinks, so I wanted to add it to the list. Obviously don't donate if it's already opened. And again, obviously that's a follow-up to this post that we saw of Our Culture, one of the companies that collabed with Sinder, kind of putting stuff in like a clothing drop-off spot, whatever you want to call it. And that was a really good way of kind of repurposing it. But as I said, there's some people out there who are actually reselling it on the cheap, and some people are now making it their mission, creating like kind of groups and stuff to find the cheapest Sinder merch possible that is going around at the moment after everyone is falling out of love with it and selling it on the cheap. Now, obviously, there's some other kind of tweets here as well. Obviously, this person saying, waking up and immediately seeing my Sinder merch shelf and crying, I'm not okay, man. That is pretty crazy. Obviously, they have an entire shelf dedicated to Sinder, which, is interesting. But yeah, obviously, since a lot of this stuff has happened, that's got to be pretty hard to look at. And they say, I offer my Corpo merch shelf instead, which again, so they got multiple shelves and things like that. And yeah, obviously, Mujin down in the comments saying, I'm so sorry. Pixar saying, I'm so sorry. Which, yeah, it must suck for a lot of these people as well, who have been like long fans of Sinder and have been watching it for a while and seeing a lot of this stuff come out, because obviously it was hard enough for the VTubers that were involved and that were affected, and also the artists and whoever else was affected by a lot of the stuff that Sinder was doing in the background. But it's also got to affect the fans quite a bit whenever they find out their favorite VTuber is pretty much a horrible person behind the scenes, has been doing some pretty horrible things behind the scenes. And yeah, obviously they bought a lot of merch, they've built it up, and now they get to this point where they have to wake up and see this, and they're like, oh wait, I remember what she did. And now it's just become a kind of sad thing. Obviously people as well kind of chiming in saying this is sad af, sending you positive vibes. They're saying that's not counting the plushies on my bed and desk mat, wallpapers on phones and PC and mousepad. I saw your post about her. I'm so sorry she used you too, Aru. Sending positive vibes. He said, as much as the person behind the avatar is a real loser right now, Nano put her heart and soul into that design, and the artists that put in the work too. Hope this helps a little bit. Can just praise a different side of Sinder's model. They say true, Nano cooked, she always does with Sinder's model, but looking at it, it's just kind of hard right now. Which again, I think is true. You know, obviously nanoless made a lot of the kind of designs for Sinder. So, you know, you can kind of separate it in the fact they're saying that, you know, this art made by nanoless looks really good, rather than saying this Sinder VTuber model looks really good, because obviously you can kind of separate it a bit more. But at the end of the day, obviously, you know, people still know it's Sinder. People still know what she's done, and, you know, it's still going to be a reminder of a lot of the things that have happened in the past. And obviously we go over as well, this person saying, I've waited for Sinder to respond, and the wait is too long. I heard and read enough. I waited over 8 months after ordering this merch. Also during the time of financial struggles, I wanted to support my Oshi, but I feel disgusting right now. And obviously, yeah, they ripped up, I think that is a poster, and also ripped up a plush thing, which again is kind of crazy. I mean, again, I feel like destroying it is a little bit too far. I mean, you can just always sell it if you really don't want it. But again, you know, as if you're saying, you need to chill out. It said, what I need you to do is mind your damn business and don't tell me what to do. Okay, I'm chill as can be. Obviously, yeah, the angry stuff. Final moments on the plush, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to think of how they just destroyed it. They were just kind of like ripping it apart. I don't know why it's so funny to think about. They say, don't think anything she says will fix the 7 tower strikes. I said, at this point, all she can do is damage control and a Starbucks application. I can understand the frustration and the hurt from people within the community. I really think people could repurpose the merch and make new art out of it, which I definitely do think could be the case. And yeah, I mean, I feel like there's probably a better way to handle it, but if that's how they want to handle it, then that's up to them, and I don't really care, you know, if they destroy their Sinder merch or if they don't. But it would be better, like these people who are sweeping up a lot of these kind of things over on eBay, to just go ahead and sell it, because there's going to be a buyer, there's going to be someone who is out there trying to pick up some Sinder merch on the cheap, and yeah, it's just going to be like easy money for literally every single fan that, you know, well, was a fan and now wants to get rid of the merch, because again, there is a way to profit off it, there is a way to get a little bit of money out of a pretty bad situation. And yeah, that is pretty much everything to do with the Sinder merch. Obviously, we also talked about a situation going on with Candle. There's been like a little bit of an update to that, so let me know if you guys want to see a video on that. Essentially, Candle made a candle on Sinder, and essentially it was about a lot of the drama. And although, you know, Sinder has done a lot of terrible stuff and people dislike her, people are actually on the side of Sinder for this one, because again, like Candle went ahead and just like made a joke out of a pretty serious situation, and it was just like, bro, what the hell? Like, why are we even doing this for a professional, or supposed to be professional company? It's like, why are we making jokes out of the it's just business thing on a candle and selling it for profit? It's just like, bro, are we seriously doing this? But hey, you know, I thought it was pretty interesting, so if you guys want to see a full video on that, then I definitely will cover it. Let me know down in the comments. But yeah, it's just pretty sad to see a lot of these kind of fans not very happy with the situation at the moment, having to wake up, see their merch. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know what you could really do. It's probably a pretty tough situation to be in right now. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys would do. What would you do if you were in a similar situation to this? Or what have you done if you are in a similar situation to this? Because yeah, I'm very interested. But if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code CASA, get 10% off, because they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Maybe not the Sinder stuff for you, but maybe some of the other stuff you might actually like. So I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.